I'm Todd Powell, co-founder of Vacations by Rail, and I am super excited to talk about travel to Canada. After more than 17 months, the Canadian-USA border is finally reopened and travel to Canada has started again. Today, I welcome Ryan Elliott of Travel Alberta, the official destination management organization of the Government of Alberta, Canada. Located in Western Canada, Alberta includes the heart of the Canadian Rockies and home to such towns as Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper, and so much more. Covering over 255,000 square miles, its landscape encompasses mountains, prairies, deserts, vast forests, more than 600 lakes, and 5 national parks. Alberta is stunning in its natural beauty. And best of all, it has some spectacular train journeys, including the all-daylight Rocky Mountaineer, Via Rail's Canadian service, where you can sleep on the train, and from time to time, the luxurious Royal Canadian Pacific. So let's welcome Ryan Elliott. Ryan, I'm glad to see that you're actually in the Canadian Rockies today, and it's great to have you here and showcasing that scenery.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Todd. Lucky to be outside today. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm actually here based in Canmore, which is located between Banff and Calgary. Happy to share with you all kinds of information and background about my beautiful backyard here.
All right. Well, I love that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Alberta and the province and just give an overview so people understand what Alberta has. There's just so much there.
No, for sure. Well, I know, for Alberta, a lot of people think Rockies and I don't blame them. I mean, if you look behind me, the Rockies are right here at our doorstep, and they're absolutely stunning and gorgeous. But one of the things, people don't know about Alberta is we get a ton of sunshine every year. So we average about 333 days of sunshine. Today is no exception. Beautiful sun out here. And, across the province, it's extremely diverse from east to west, north to south. We have tons of culinary experiences to be had, whether it's in the Rockies or in our major cities, and a plethora of Indigenous culture as well. Going back, there's all kinds of Indigenous history and Indigenous activities to be had for your guests as well. A lot of people don't know Alberta is home to actually 6 UNESCO World Heritage World Sites. We have the Canadian Rocky Mountain Parks, which includes Banff and Jasper, Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump to the south, Riding on the Stone way to the south, Dinosaur Provincial Park out to the east of Calgary, and far up north are Wood Buffalo National Park. So like I said, from east to west, north to south, it really is a totally different experience across Alberta. We have some incredible cities. They're cities of Edmonton and Calgary. Great festivals, great events, lots of culinary dining experiences. Up north, which it would be an add-on for your guests. We have our dark skies, lots of northern lights, and these beautiful big lakes. And one thing I think, especially for the Vacation by Rail guest to experience is, when they're staying in Calgary, staying an extra day and heading a little bit east on a day trip out to Dinosaur Provincial Park. It's kind of an unknown jewel, I would say, in Alberta, which just has these incredible hoodoos and dinosaur bones just sticking out all over the place. So while we'll touch on a lot of the Rockies today, there's just so much more to experience here in Alberta.
Yeah, it's quite a large province. I understand, like 255,000 square miles, right? 600 plus lakes. I mean, there's just so much to do. And I think that's it. I think once people, they take a rail vacation, Vacations by Rail, and they're doing, they're seeing those highlights, Banff, Jasper, Lake Louise, and they get there and we hear it, they should have stayed longer. They should have explored more because there's just so much to do. We're at a unique, we're at a really obviously a unique time. The border's just opening up, and so tourism's just starting to come back. Are there? Do you think that the people that book now and come this year, do you think they're going to see some more wildlife, or there's going to be more activity? What have you experienced up there, and what do you think people are going to see that's a little bit different?
Well, I could say it's definitely been surreal not having our international guests coming through the Rockies for sure. So we're definitely excited to have the borders open and welcome our guests back. But the Rockies remain somewhat untouched. There's definitely been some changes to some of the experiences that I think your guests are going to see. There's been a number of new restaurants that have opened up, especially in Banff. our hotels have taken the time, that downtime for the first part of COVID, to upgrade facilities. Hotels have had a number of upgrades. So I think your guests will see that. And then, one of the cool things I think they're going to see as well, which is a result of COVID, is things like Banff Avenue. It's going to be pedestrianized again for 2022.
Wow.
So they've made it an incredible experience. They've opened up the patios. The patios are right out to the middle of the street. Lots of space to walk around, so lots of opportunity to still be socially distanced, and it just changes that experience downtown Banff completely. In addition, in Banff as well, they've just renovated all of Bear Street, so it's the street just next to parallels Banff Ave, and that's a fully pedestrianized zone as well. So getting around in Banff now is way easier than it was before, and it was pretty easy before.
Yeah, right.
So it just enhances that experience completely. So yeah, really excited about that.
Wow, that's super exciting, because those pedestrian zones, I mean, people love those, right? To be able to just explore and walk around, and Banff is such a wonderful mountain town, and then to have that accessibility and make it even easier is going to be a spectacular experience for the travelers. So when we talk about Banff and Jasper and Lake Louise, those are really the towns that our travelers gravitate to, and I think it's because they're world renowned, for one, and then two, the rail service that we put together with these packages, whether it's a Rocky Mountaineer or sleeping on the train on Via Rail's Canadian up to Jasper, they end up in those towns, and then they're connected by the fabulous Icefields Parkway. So can you tell me a little bit about, and tell listeners about what you think makes those towns so special?
Absolutely. It's a tough thing to verbalize, to be honest. I moved out here in 2001. I came out here for 6 months. That was my plan, with the same as many people out here. And there's just something about the mountains here that just, I don't know, it hits you deep inside. It really does. It's such a beautiful place. The scenery changes daily. We have the same view in the same mountains, but like this morning, woke up, it rained last night, and now we have snow at the top of the mountain. Wow. So it just changes the dynamic. The clouds that lay low, it just changes that scenery. And the fact that that we have UNESCO World Heritage sites especially through the Rockies, it really makes these places special. So these places are the same size now as they were, 50 years ago, as they're going to be in 100 years from now. There's a cap to the growth, which means the towns can't get any bigger than they are right now. And that makes them really special as well. And with that, we're as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, we're sitting in the backyard of a lot of wildlife. So because this area is very well protected, there's no hunting or anything that happens through the parks. It's really common to have wildlife encounters, which is really spectacular, whether that's the bears you see, from the train, whether that's when you're going on the Icefields Parkway, bears and elk and moose. There's just all kinds of wildlife around. And I think that's really what makes this place really truly special.
I think you're right. When we talk about the magic in the mountains, I traveled there with my family over spring break a couple years back to do some skiing, experience it in the wintertime. And it really is a destination for all seasons. And I will tell you that they were just mesmerized, right? Yeah. I mean, just like exploring, and every turn, it just like, they couldn't believe their eyes, really, and the experiences they had, you just can't have those anywhere else. And I think you're right. I think when you talk about like those towns not really being able to grow any more than they are, I mean, it's outstanding, right? I mean, it really is from a sustainability standpoint, and to protect the national parks and to have the wildlife and keep those magnificent skies and peaks visible. I mean, it's great.
No, for sure. And we don't apologize for that. There's if developers could get in here and develop this area, they would. But that's what makes it really unique here. It's not going to have that explosive growth. It's when you're going up at the top of the gondola in Banff, you're still seeing untouched wilderness and untouched forest. And for us, that's really special, and we're really proud of being able to protect that, for sure.
Yeah. So our travelers, when they go, they're usually spending, 5 nights plus in the Rockies, and so it gives them an opportunity to explore the towns, get out and go explore, go to some of the lakes and go explore the areas. What are some of the don't miss sites, if someone has that amount of time, that you would suggest that people go and see?
For sure. Well, first of all, Todd, as we said earlier, it's never enough time, right? So if they can extend their trip, definitely do it. But I'll give you definitely my key highlights for sure. In Banff, first and foremost is the Banff Gondola. It's a must-do attraction. It gets you high up over top of Banff. It's up Sulphur Mountain, 360-degree beautiful views of the valley, and really lets you have the bearings of where you are, where you came from, where Lake Louise is, and where Calgary is. And it's just stunning views, and great restaurant facilities up there as well. And then in Banff, walking just around the town and walking down the Bow River to Bow Falls, it's just scenic, picturesque, and really beautiful. So those are my two kind of go-to places for sure in Banff. Okay. And then obviously your guests will be staying or can stop on the train in Lake Louise. And Lake Louise is it's something truly magical and truly special. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. Lake Louise, I highly recommend. There's a stroll along the lakeshore. So most people will gather kind of in front of the hotel, but if you walk just 5 minutes down the lakeshore, you get away from all the crowds. And there's just a beautiful, stunning flat trail that follows the lakeshore to the right of the lake. And then from there, it's a 15-minute drive as well from Lake Louise, 15-minute drive to Moraine Lake. And this lake is just awe-inspiring. The colors change throughout the year, from a dark turquoise to a deep blue. So depending on what time of year you come, it'll be a different color, but just an absolutely stunning lake to view. And then going up the Rockies, between Banff and Jasper, whether you're coming down from Jasper to Banff or from Banff up to Jasper, is the Icefields Parkway. And that is, voted one of the most scenic drives on the planet. So whether you're going by escorted coach tour or whether you're doing your self-drive with a rental car, we recommend a full day to get from kind of A to B, just because there's so many glaciers to see and just beautiful views. And I recommend anyway, stopping at the Columbia Icefield Adventure. Yeah. Opportunity to get out on this great big motor coach, ice coach that takes you right out on the glacier. Tell your guests to bring an empty bottle, because you can actually scoop the glacier water right out of the melting rivers and drink that straight from the glacier. Truly cool experience. Yeah. And then finally, I guess up in Jasper, Moraine Lake Cruise, and that Moraine Valley. Again, just something super special about that. Lots of wildlife down there and just beautiful lakes. And that Moraine Lake Cruise takes you to Spirit Island, which is really important in the Indigenous world. And just there's something really truly special and unique about that. Getting off the boat and being on this little island with the sun beating down. As you know, we've got tons of sunshine. So it's a truly cool experience. So that's just the tip of the iceberg of the things I would recommend, but I could talk for days about everything else to do in the Rockies and across Alberta.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's I'm telling you, when I talk to people, particularly now you're killing me with the destination behind, with the mountains behind you, right? Because I'm talking to people, we all feel like we've been locked up and we're ready to go, and then when you talk about all those things to do in that area and how magnificent it is and beautiful. I'm getting anxious. I'm ready, right? All right, so
we're ready for you. We're ready for you to come back.
I'm ready to go. So why don't we talk a little bit about what's behind you and show a little of that, because before I ask you for some insider tips, people need to know that you're there. Right?
Yeah. This is background. This is not a virtual background. No. So I've got behind me, this is the Rundle Range. So this is actually, like I said, I'm based in Canmore, which is in between Banff and Calgary. So if we're heading west from the Rundle Range, we head all the way down this range here, and that will actually take you all the way to Banff. So Banff is that way behind me. And then going up through the valley, beautiful views up the valley. And then Howling is a real popular local hike. And then if you can, I'm not sure if you can see it as well, is the Bow River. We haven't seen yet today, but you'll see lots of float trips coming down through here, people on kayaks and just getting out and enjoying the backyard.
Oh, so nice. Yeah. So I have a lamp and behind me and a chair that my cat normally sleeps on. That's about it.
I'm going to send you a screenshot of my background and you can use this side. You can just pretend.
I'm going to need to. All right, Ryan. So let's talk a little bit about some insider tips. So,
Sure.
Give a few that people, that only someone like yourself who lives there would know.
Well, first and foremost, book early. Summer in the Rockies are peak season. You mentioned our winter product. We've got a phenomenal winter product, lots of skiing, and you would assume, in the Rockies, winter would be our peak season, but it's not. Summer is actually our peak season. So if you're looking to travel in those peak summer months, definitely book early. Vacations by Rail has lots of space, great partners to work with. So definitely book early that way, and take time to book those excursions. I know there's stuff that's included on the tours and stuff that's not, but there's so much to experience here. You need to definitely be taking advantage of some of that downtime and doing some of those extra excursions and activities. And when you're here, so it is a popular tourist destination, especially through the Rockies, but it really is peak at certain times. So if you're willing to get up a little bit earlier or stay out a little bit later, our days, we have sunlight till 10 at night in the middle of the summer. So going out in the evening is not a problem. And visiting those popular attractions in those off-peak times will really change your day completely. And then, always take time, relax, stroll, take the mountains in. That's what they're here for. There's something super rejuvenating about just walking around and having this stunning scenery in the background. And finally, I would just say in packing, pack multiple layers, whether you're coming in April, May, June, July, August, September, definitely pack multiple layers. So it can get up to 75, 80 degrees in the middle of the day, but then it can get down to 15, 20 degrees at night. I biked here with my toque on, and I'm now going to be switching to a t-shirt fairly soon. So this time of year, the weather can change. Definitely dress in layers because the weather can also roll in fairly quickly. So that's definitely the biggest advice is, definitely have some layers with you when you go out, and drink lots of water. We're in a dry climate out here, so make sure you're drinking lots of water at elevation as well. And that's my insider tips. Yeah.
I like them. I like them. It gets everyone prepared so they can have the best experience they can, because, and particularly the layers, right? I think people they don't realize that it could be really chilly in the morning. You have a steaming cup of coffee, and then by midday, that sun's really coming down. So I think there's some great tips. Ryan, I really appreciate the time. I know it's really hard for you to find this great location and this picnic table that you can do your Zoom call from, right?
It's really tough. It was really tough getting outside of my deck at home to come to this beautiful spot right here. But thank you for that.
We really appreciate the time, and I know that our travelers, whether anytime they come there, anyone who's gone there has just been blown away by the experience. And then from Vacations by Rail, to have these iconic journeys that connect the Canadian Rockies and Alberta by train, sleeping on the train, wintertime, we talk about wintertime and traveling in winter. There's some fabulous experiences you're going to have in the wintertime in Alberta. And then when you're taking an overnight train, let's say Vancouver to Jasper, and you're sleeping on the train and you get up and you're in the heart of the Rockies and there's snow all over the place. I mean, it's magnificent. And I think that's really the interesting part about it, is that it is such a different experience, that whether it's summertime or or winter or spring, it's just different and new, and there's new experiences to be had.
Completely. There's a number of experiences that obviously you can do year round, but you're right. The winter experiences are completely different. You've got, dog sledding, snowshoeing, the fireplaces are a little bit warmer. It's just the majesty of the mountains is completely different as well. When you've got the snow on the caps, it changes the look of the mountains completely. So if I was to send you this shot behind me in 3 months' time when it's covered in snow, you won't recognize them because of the way the snow lies. But it is definitely a truly different experience in the winter. Truly magical for sure.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, thanks again. Thanks for making the time and sharing your Alberta and your knowledge about it. I mean, we really appreciate it, and our travelers and our customers appreciated it. Really, it really helps people prepare and understand what it has to offer. And it truly is a magical, magnificent place. So thanks again, Ryan.
No worries. I appreciate the time. And, borders are opening. We're looking forward to welcoming all our visitors from the south up to the beautiful province of Alberta. So yeah, open arms. We're ready for you.
Great. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks. Take care.